Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video I want to talk about the most common misconception about spirituality and spiritual growth. And it is that spiritual is opposite of material. I think this is the most common misconception of beginners on the spiritual path, and even some people who are deep into the spirituality still think that way. Like, a lot of people think that in order to be a spiritual person, in order to spiritually grow, you need to abandon all the material things. You need to abandon like material side of things. And so that's why a lot of people are afraid of taking the spiritual path. They think that if they start to reconnect with their spirit, with their soul, then the material side of things will be lacking, right? But today I want to tell you that it is not true. And in this video I will tell you why, and I will show you some examples that will prove my point. So first of all, in this life we live in material world, right? That means that everything that happens in material world, and spiritual growth as well. We came to this 3D reality to experience and to live in matter, in material world, and also to experience how it feels to be a spiritual person in material world. If you think about it, it doesn't have any sense that spirit, that our soul, will come into material world, and then it's like, no, I want to take a spiritual path, I want to abandon all the matter, I want to go on top of the mountain and meditate until I die, right? It doesn't make any sense, well, at least to me. So that's why we should be able to mix our spiritual growth with our material growth. And we are actually able to do it because we are the seeds of light that came into material world. So that means that we have the power of creation, that we can create anything that we want, not only in spiritual world, but also in material world. Like, I don't know where this misconception comes from. I think that it comes from less spiritual people seeing how their guides, how their gurus behaving in the material world. And most of gurus and guides and the most like spiritually developed people, they tend to be ascets, right? They tend to live in some rural areas, some like faraway places. And so their pupils, their apprentices, look at them and they don't understand why they do that. And so they just think that, so in order to be spiritually developed, you need to abandon all material things. Because even the most, like one of the most spiritually developed people in history, Buddha, said that the way to get rid of all struggles is middle way, middle path. And it could mean a lot of things, but one of them I think is that you need to walk in between the spiritual and material. I know that sometimes it may be hard, and especially for beginners on this spiritual path, it may be beneficial to lean on the spiritual side, right? Because in our modern world, we all lean on the material side. Like, I'd say 99% of people lean on the material side of things. And so that's why I think we need to change the direction of our attention to the spiritual side. But not too much, you know what I mean, right? I have an analogy prepared for you. Imagine that your life is a tree. So it has roots, trunk, and leaves. And let's say that leaves are the material side of things because it is the most visible side, right? We don't see tree roots often, so we don't know what's going on under the ground, right? We only can see the leaves. But in order to grow more leaves, more beautiful and healthy leaves, you need to take care of roots. You cannot just water leaves, you cannot just give nutrients to the leaves and expect them to grow a lot. If you take care of the leaves, for some extent, they will grow bigger and more beautiful, right? But this growth is very restricted because the leaves get most of their nutrition, most of the things that they need from roots. And that's why when you want a tree to grow, you take care of its roots and of the soil that it's planted in. But when we too distracted with the material side of things, when we too distracted with like what we see in the reality, cars, money, job, etc., it is like we only see the leaves of a tree and we try to take care of them, we try to nurture them, we try to water them, but we completely neglect the roots, the spiritual side. And that's why neglecting the roots translating into the reality. And that's why you have all these problems, all these struggles into your life, even though you take care of your material side of things. So what I want to tell you is that spirituality and materiality are not opposite things. In fact, they are one thing. Material things are growing from the spirituality, from spiritual world, because everything is a spirit. Before it becomes a matter, everything is a spirit. I know that you may not believe it or it may be hard to understand, but like even in religions, people know that, even though that they misuse this knowledge. Because everything grows from spirit, and only then it comes to a matter. I think that you are not 100% material person, otherwise you wouldn't like get to this video, right? But if there are some very materialistic people, then tell me this, like, if everything is a matter and everything is about a matter, so where are your thoughts are stored? Like, show me your thoughts. Where are they? Show me your feelings. Show me your emotions. Where are they? Where are they stored? Where do they come from? And some of you may say that, well, when you think about particular things or feel particular things, then your brain like makes signals in the same parts. Yes, I agree with you. Brain reacts to your feelings and thinking, but this doesn't mean that your feelings and thoughts are stored in your brain. It only means that they somehow are related. Your feelings, thoughts, and your brain activity. That's why you will never be able to show me your thoughts and feelings and emotions and a lot of other stuff, because it is not in material world. These are parts of spiritual world, and material world as well is a part of spiritual world. And since we are human beings, we are created to create, to co-create with the higher power, the universe, the source, whatever you call it. And that's why we need to utilize both things, both sides of this scale, spirituality and materiality. But again, as I said before, they are not separate, they are not opposites. They are in fact the one. The materiality grows from spirituality. And that's why when your spiritual side of things gets better, your material world follows it. That doesn't mean that you need to neglect the material world like completely, like only give it 10% of your attention and meditate all other time. It doesn't work like that, because we still live in material world in this body, and we need to take care of our body, of our environment. And with spiritual growth, with taking the spiritual path, it becomes only easier. It doesn't become more difficult, because otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. Like, why would I take the spiritual path if I get more struggle, if I get more problems, right? It only gets easier. If you took a spiritual path and your material side of things, your reality, like started to fall apart, it is not a bad thing. It means that you used to give too much attention to your material side of things. And now, when your attention is taken away and put it into the spiritual path, the reality that you built before, it doesn't suit you anymore. You are not aligned with this reality anymore. And that's why it falls apart. Don't worry about it. It is just a step in your spiritual growth. Everything will be great. Everything will come into its place. Believe me, all puzzles will click. Just take your spiritual path and do not neglect material side of things. Feed your body with good nutrition. Take care of your psychic. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. And that's why eventually you will achieve the best version of your life and the best version of yourself. That's it for today's video. If you liked it, if you resonated with this information, with my energy, I ask you to like this video, to leave a comment if you want to. And if you want more content, like more information from me about spirituality and manifestation, I ask you to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and see you next time.